Greetings, boils and ghouls. Welcome back to Midnight Movie Massacre. That's how you kick off a Swoop special right there. So today we have for you our first Swoop segment of the new year. This is going to cover all of my pickups from January and February. We got some Pawn Shop Dank, we got some Wally World Swoops, and we got some stuff that we grabbed off of Amazon, as well as some odds and ends from a trip to the comic shop. Should be a good time, nowhere near as big as the fall haul, thank God. Not that I don't love getting that many movies, but this is going to be a damn sight easier to edit, I'll tell you that much. So without wasting any more time, let's jump into it. Alright, so first up we got the Pawn Shop Dank. Now I did it in reverse order this time. The last few times I went out hunting I went to Walmart and then the pawn shop. This time I had to go settle up a debt. Basically over the holidays I had put my Xbox in pawn for extra money and had just been procrastinating getting it out because I was spending my fucking money on movies. So I got it out and I was very pleased to see that they decided to keep the 2 for $3 price as a permanent price. I don't remember if it actually made it into the Swooptacular in any of those segments, but I had talked about how 2 for $3 makes a lot more sense for used DVDs than $3 a piece. It's just not as enticing of a price. 2 for $3 is easier on the wallet and they're gonna move a lot of the shit that they definitely aren't going to for $3 a piece. I've bought a few of those things myself. In any case though, I grabbed a few items. I got a few individual items here and then I got one big item that I paid a little chunk of change for. Not much comparative to what it's worth, but it was a pretty cool swoop. I'm very excited to show it to you guys. First up though, we got a little double feature here with Circus of Fear and Carnival of Souls on there, digitally remastered. I have to admit, I've never seen either of these movies, but I feel like they're both movies that you hear about, eventually when you're collecting horror and diving into the genre. So I'm very much looking forward to checking them out. It was a good one. And then I got this movie marathon cult horror collection here. It's got 4 movies on it. The Funhouse, Phantasm 2, Serpent in the Rainbow, and I have Phantasm 2 and Serpent in the Rainbow. The Funhouse and are both ones that I didn't have though, and I'm pretty stoked to have them. Actually watched the Funhouse and did a discussion with my buddy Manolo, aka Mpoc from Mugen, over the weekend for the Funhouse. That'll be coming out on the Cinema Slut podcast here soon. I've got a few clips stacked up. Me and him did 2 discussions. Me and my girl Jess got a discussion. We got a couple more that we have planned. And then we're going to release it as like a 6-pack. I think that's how I'm going to release that podcast. In any case, stoked to have them for sure. Then we got a movie here I was turned on to. Dustin from Crypt of Horrors suggested this for our Second Chance month. Unfortunately, I was not able to participate in the discussion with them, but I fucking loved the movie, knew that I wanted it immediately. And it's one of many times that I have ran across a movie like that, directly after it was brought up in some fashion involving the Movies Galore group. Myself and Dustin both do frequent discussions with Inside Movies Galore for various movies. Their link will be in the description below as well. Sub us up, get in on the fun. We do live discussions, so you can, get in the chat and shoot the shit with us. But anyways, it seems like every time that we talk about a movie in there that I really want, I end up just finding it like a couple of weeks later or something. So let's keep doing that, boys. So far I'm digging the results. This one I'm not stoked on because I just didn't care for this movie, but I'm trying to collect all of the remakes of classic horror movies, so it's in the collection now. I'm willing to give it a second chance. It's the one that put R. Lee Ermey into the fucking franchise, so I guess I gotta like it a little bit at least for that. Then I got a copy of Shaun of the Dead. This is one that I'm pretty sure I didn't drunk gift. I think I just left it at a friend's house and forgot to go get it. So, $1.50, might as well have it. And then I got a copy of this glorious piece of shit because I've always had a soft spot for this. It's fucking garbage. There's no 2 ways around that. It is absolute fucking garbage. But it's the kind of garbage that I like, It's so bad that it's kind of hilarious. And the fact that it's based off of like one of my favorite games of all time doesn't hurt. To be fair though, those games had a hefty cheese quality to them. I just don't think that this movie captures it in the same kind of way, which is disappointing. Now our final swoop here for our pawn shop haul is one that's definitely worth raising a glass to, so I hope you guys at home will join me in toasting this epic find. At least for me it's pretty fucking epic, especially considering the value. And it's got a bit of like a karma return on it, which is always satisfying. So recently, as part of a Secret Santa, I gifted away the 3 volumes of Tales from the Crypt I had. It was like season 1 through 3. It might have just been season 1 and 2, but I think it was season 1 through 3. and they were like the slipcover ones. I'd long since gotten drunk and thrown a couple of the slipcovers away. They weren't in the greatest shape, but they were those sets that I had, you know. I forget where I even got them at this point, but I had them. And I had been holding out, like, eventually wanting to invest in the complete series of Tales from the Crypt. Preferably the slim set, like the plastic clamshell you see at Walmart for 60 or 70 bucks, depending on the format. And I'd just been procrastinating that, but I figured, you know what, fuck it. Maybe if I give these seasons away, I'll have more motivation to get it. And while that is not what took place, I did get the entire series for $24.99 in some minty single volume editions at the pawn shop. It was just sitting there all shrink wrapped, and I couldn't leave it behind. Not at that price, man. As soon as I looked down at it, I was like, yo, these are going to be janky as fuck, and they're almost not even going to be worth looking at. And then as soon as I picked it up and turned it over and saw it, like the first season right here, looking back at me, and I saw like how crisp it looked, I knew that it was a find, you know. And then you go through them, and every one of them is just as crisp or crisper. It looks like somebody got these, opened them, watched them once, and then just put them on their shelf, and then one day decided, fuck it, I for some reason don't need the whole series of Tales from the Crypt. Or maybe they upgraded, and they took them and turned them in. And the pawn shop doesn't shrink wrap shit. I think they honestly saw how good these looked and just left them as is because they knew they were minty. The discs are just as immaculate. Like, all of them look brand fucking new. And I still plan on eventually getting the slim pack. I really don't want 7 volumes of this bitch taking up that much space on the shelf, because when you start to get to a certain amount of stuff, it really helps to have, like, space to put more of it, you know? But for $24, I'd have been a fucking idiot to leave that behind. And when I eventually get the fucking, you know, the slim pack, I will gift those to somebody, pay that karma forward, and just keep the cycle going. Now, I'm not one to say that I'm generous just because I expect the universe to give me something in return for it, but I'm not gonna fucking shrug it off when it does, you know? It's nice to run up on things like that sometimes, especially when it directly correlates to a part of your life where you were generous. I'm a firm believer in the pay it forward shit, though, too. If someone's generous to you, pay it forward so that it'll come back around in kind. This was a win for me. Right now, you guys are gonna enjoy the trailer for Tobe Hooper's The Funhouse, and we'll see you back here in a minute with our Walmart stack.
Who will dare to face the challenge of the Funhouse? Who is mad enough to enter that world of darkness?
Something is alive in the Funhouse. Something not alive like its father. Something better dead. Something that has the form of a human, but not the face.
This better be good.
It's gonna be great. Something that feeds off the flesh and blood of young innocents.
Come on, here we go. This is it.
Something that tonight will turn the Funhouse into a carnival of terror.
I don't know what that thing is. We're gonna try to kill it. I just want to get the hell out of here.
The Funhouse, coming soon from Universal Pictures. The Funhouse. It's a carnival of terror from Tobe Hooper, the director who terrified you with the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Well, that couple of minutes for you guys ended up turning into like 2 days for me. Goes without saying that the buzz thickened up a bit. I ended up eating some Hot Pockets, and I think I passed out watching Walking Dead with my lady. It was a good night overall, but it just kind of, you know, drug out this experience for me a little bit. We're getting back in the spirit, though. So we're going to jam right on through our Walmart swoops, then you guys are going to check out a featured trailer, and then we are going to look at our Amazon grabs and our odds and ends to close this bitch out. The first pickup for our Walmart swoops is a copy of Critters Attack. This is one that I was pretty stoked to grab. Heard some, mixed things about it, and they were mostly all true. It is very much like an episode of Goosebumps. For $5, though, it was worth every penny. If you're a fan of critters and you have, like, small kids, it's a win-win because you can get, some splatter action with the critters in a movie that is overall very clean and easily presentable to children. It's a good family movie right here. Pick it up. Fuck that Frozen 2. After that, for, I think it was $10, but it might have been $5 as well, I got a copy of the Banana Splits movie. This is one that I was kind of indifferent to until I checked out Dustin from Crypto Horror's review on it, and it just kind of got me hyped on the movie, so I decided to give it a chance, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. There will be a review on it coming soon. And then just to fill the slot, I got the $5 Wally World special for Pet Sematary 2. I got a minty fucking copy that I'm very proud of on VHS, along with, a really minty copy of the first one. I've only had the first one on DVD, though, for ages, and I just wanted this in case I ever wanted to, like, take them to my girlfriend's house or something, and immediately it paid for itself, because my buddy came to visit for the weekend, and he'd never seen him, so we just double featured him. It's a great time. This was definitely $10. That's a copy of The Man Who Killed Hitler, and then The Bigfoot. Immediately fell in love with this movie when I saw it with my girlfriend on Hulu, and I knew I needed to have it, and they just happened to have it there. I'd have paid $20 for that, but $10 I was more than happy with, and I've already watched it again since I bought it. It was just a great time. The trailer and the title make you assume it's going to be a different kind of a movie, and I think that went against it being recognized as probably the modern classic that it is. It's a very heartfelt movie about, like, getting old and wanting to do something that makes a difference before you go. Then closing out our single movies, we got a copy of Midsommar. This is one that I went in there to, specifically grab. I wasn't trying to do a big haul on this trip, because they had this and they had Hereditary right there next to each other, each for $10. But then when I went back, Walmart had, like, decided they were tearing down their electronics section and moving it or some shit, so everything was boxed up. I was lucky to even get this. Happy to have it, though. Watched it with my lady, loved it, and there's definitely reviews coming soon. I think those movies are grossly misunderstood by a lot of the people that rip on them. I'm not going to be condescending and say that it was over their head. Enough people have already told them that. Then we got a copy of Gravity Falls. This is one that my kid, convinced me to grab. It was not on my radar at all. Wildly impressed by that. I'd kind of written it off because I thought it was like Steven Universe or Adventure Time, and I really did not like those shows. No hate to the people that did. Just wasn't for me. That's a lot more in line with, like, a Rick and Morty, and I believe there's Easter eggs that connect the two. So definitely give it a chance. We watched all the way through it in like a week, and I think we're going back in for round 2 here real soon. That was $18, by the way. And then I got a copy of War of the Worlds, the late 80s TV series. I believe it is a sequel to the movie and not a new adaptation of the book like a lot of other ones are. Watched the first episode. There was dudes on, like, 3-wheelers with badass M16s attached to the front that they were shooting motherfuckers with after they were doing, like, kinked out wheelies. I was immediately hooked, so it's definitely one that I'm looking forward to watching through. But really, the gem of this fucking complete series pickup here is the Complete Monsters, man. You guys that watch the Winter Swooptacular know that I really wanted this so that I could watch it back to back with the Addams Family and decide which one I think is best. And that's totally going down here in the near future. I'm going to find some way to document it for you guys. I don't know if I'm going to edit, like, videos for each of them. It might be like an audio only thing, but for fans of those shows, it might be fun to listen in on, because I just want to break them into even, like, amounts of blocks so that I can watch them back to back, like blocks of however many episodes for each series, so that I could progress through them at the same pace. I think it might end up being one of the most satisfying TV watching experiences of my life. I've just got to do a bit of math to figure out how to get it all lined up, but very much looking forward to doing that. You guys are going to check out the trailer for, fuck it, Pet Sematary 2. Seen a few people lately say they didn't even know there was a sequel to it, so check it out. We'll see you back here in a few.
Hey, what are you doing?
Getting things ready for Mom.
Mom's dead, Jeff.
She doesn't have to be.
Something strange.
Now, I didn't think much about it until I saw him drag the body out of the coffin.
Something ancient.
Bury your own.
Something evil.
Was it your idea of a joke to send me blood from a dead animal?
This dog is alive.
Not this dog.
Something terrifying is happening in Ludlow, Maine. Again.
Pick up your family and get the hell
Cemetery 2.
Jeff, honey. Father and I need to talk.
Some stories just won't stay dead.
Looks like a lot of fun, right? That's because it fucking is. Zombie Gus is like one of the best villains in any horror movie ever. I don't really know if he's a villain. I'm kind of sympathetic to Zombie Gus for some reason. I think if he had the right stepson, he could have been a good stepdad. So I'm going to wet the whistle, and then we're going to dive into these Amazon swoops real quick. There's not a lot of them, but it's all quality shit. So our first two Amazon grabs come courtesy of my lovely lady Jessica. She did us a great service with these because they were both hugely appreciated and came at a very good time. So first up is one that's special to me. Not getting Hereditary with that Midsommar really bummed me out, and she could fucking tell. I didn't even hint that she'd get me this at all. She just grabbed it for me. I just can't thank her enough for that, because I was honestly bummed, because I knew, just the way I collect, that eventually I would see it, but it would be like after I saw some shit that I wanted more, and I would have just went forever only having Midsommar. And so she kind of helped me avoid a bad habit with my collecting when it comes to stuff like that. So thanks a ton, babe. We watched them together, like back to back, but in reverse order. I watched it online with her, so that's why this is not like opened yet. Will be though, because they're definitely movies I will be revisiting. And then this is one that she got for my kid, but I'm equally like stoked to have it. And she was smart enough to get the DVD plus digital, so we could just give her the digital code and then she could watch it with us. And that's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. This movie was fucking amazing, and it should have gotten a sequel by now. I was very happy to learn that there's actually books that it's based on, and there's like multiple ones. I think there's 5 at this point. But it was just super cool for her to get that for the kid as well. We used to have it, or my brother did. Pretty sure they sold it, and she was super bummed because she decided she wanted to watch it again, just kind of on her own initiative, you know? I don't blame her, because the movie's fucking rad. Still not sure why I hadn't picked up a copy yet. Anyways, their copy was gone, and Nami was all bummed out because she couldn't find it online to watch anywhere. And Jessica just went ahead and ordered her a copy. And it was very much appreciated. So thanks a ton, babe. Love you. Now our last 2 Amazon swoops are ones that I picked up myself. And they are the first ones on a long journey towards building up a brand new collection. And that's for samurai flicks, baby. Or Chambara films in general, which literally translated means sword fighting movies. I grabbed a couple of sets to that end. I'm going all Criterion with the Samurai collection, unless it's something that has not gotten a Criterion. There's a lot that I need to collect on this end though. So the first one that I got here is the complete Lady Snowblood. It's got Lady Snowblood and the sequel Lady Snowblood Love Song of Vengeance. Fucking classics, huge influence on Kill Bill, if you're familiar with those movies. Pretty basic set on that one, you know. And then I also got the Lone Wolf and Cub Criterion collection. Now this one I was stoked as fuck on, and I still am. You guys know I'm already doing like a video series on it. But it was fucking damaged in transit. You see that shit? That gnarly ding right there, and there's like a ding and a pinch on that corner. Thankfully, Criterion is down to replace it for like $5. It was not on them either. You know, that's just a service that they offer. Apparently you can replace like any part of a Criterion set for $5 a piece, unless it's the discs, if I understood that correctly. That's pretty fucking awesome. You know, like if the booklet was damaged, I could have got that. We're not going to break it down right now, because I want to do a video for it for my Lone Wolf and Cub series, but it's an amazing set, 6 movies. It is like a $70 price tag on that. The Lady Snowblood one was $27. I mean, they don't come cheap, those Criterion sets. But I think they're worth it. The special features they include, the presentation of the movies themselves, like in terms of the transfers and shit, and just the packaging alone is pretty rad. Just as an example, even this, you know, sort of basic double feature of Lady Snowblood came with like this badass poster here. It's simultaneously a poster, which I will show you now. Pretty rad, right? And then on the back is like this huge fucking essay from this film critic dude or whatever about the movies. It's just a crazy value, you know, for your money when you get them, because it's everything about it is presented beautifully. even in a basic set like this. I'm no expert on it. I would defer to like Brandon from Septum Sin versus the World on that stuff. But just from what I've seen in this Lone Wolf and Cub set, I'm very much looking forward to getting shit like the Zatoichi set and other bigger sets. Criterion knows how to fuck with some classic movies, man. You know, when they do these, they don't really fuck around. Even on the single edition movies like the Kurosawa collection and stuff, it seems like they do a lot to give you your money's worth. And you know what? Fuck it. Before we jump into the odds and ends, I have a couple bonus swoops here that just arrived today. Now, technically, the Miss Peregrine and the Hereditary came from the first week of March. I had bought in Midsummer, like, the last day of February, and my lady ordered them for me, like, the following fucking Monday or some shit like that. Or that night, but they showed up the following Wednesday. That's what it was. So, you know, to that end, I figure it won't hurt for a couple other March swoops to get in here. I got these off of Brandon from Septum Sin versus the World and Inside Movies Galore. Just a couple of items here. He gave me an absolutely killer deal on them, and I greatly appreciate it, bud. First up, we got Batman Mask of the Phantasm. This officially completes my classic Batman animated collection, and I'm very stoked to have it. Probably gonna watch it tonight with the kids. And then he hooked me up with a copy of Mad Max Fury Road. This is the DVD plus Blu-ray plus digital. Gonna go ahead and assume that the code is no longer valid, or he maybe used it. Might check on it later with my lady, though. I did not have this, and I need it for the discussion we're doing next week, I believe it is, on the entire series of Mad Max. So go ahead, sub up Inside Movies Galore, and make sure to tune in for that. It's going to be a great time. And we arrive at our odds and ends. The first item I picked up at my preferred comic shop, Adventures Underground, when I went up there to grab some Walking Dead and some Y the Last Man, and that is a reaction figure for Butch from Pulp Fiction. I've been really curious about these for a while. They appeal to me because they got that retro aesthetic. It's not like obnoxious like a fucking pop or something. I don't know why, I just don't like those. Do not appeal to me at all, but some shit like this definitely does. The sets seem real simple to collect. Each of them is like 6 to 8 figures on average, and they're available at like every convention and comic shop I've ever been to. Very much looking forward to getting that Gimp figure. That thing is just beautiful. I also really like how Butch comes with his fucking katana. That shit's pretty dope. Then I went to this place called Octopus Garden, which I'd never been to before. Me and the kid popped in there kind of on a whim just to check it out. It's in the same shopping center as Adventures Underground. And basically it's like if you crossed Spencer's with an old-timey toy shop and a really weird candy store. I got a Texas Chainsaw Massacre lunchbox. Pretty fucking stoked on this thing. Very much looking forward to collecting more of them. I've kind of casually collected lunchboxes for a while. I have like, you know, maybe 6 or 8 of them around the house. None of them are movie related though. This is my first one, and I look forward to getting many more. They had a Friday the 13th one, which would have been very appropriate to show off today, but it was whack as shit. It wasn't even like an official poster design. It was like some DeviantArt fan art bullshit, and it just looked terrible, so I passed on it. And then closing it out, these aren't really movie related, but I have mad nostalgia for them. I got some candy cigarettes at Octopus Gardens as well. Definitely stoked to see these. Hadn't seen them since I was a little kid. Used to go to a lot of flea markets and powwows with my parents, and I would always be chomping on these bad boys. And there's also a gas station over here that used to sell them back in the day. Got a lot of them. I think I got like 10 packs, but we ate most of them, so those are the ones that are left. They had all types of crazy shit, like those Mexican lollipops that have like fucking ants and worms in them and shit, and just all types of weird joke candy. It was awesome. Really cool store, and I highly recommend popping in there if you ever get the chance and you're in the area. Uptown Shopping Center, Richland, Washington, baby. It's a good little spot. It's also where Sunken Treasure Games is, another store that I really enjoy. And that does it for this swoop special, guys. I think I came out of it with a lot of good stuff. Gonna be wildly entertained for like the next year or so, probably, just on what I've gotten in the last 6 months or so. And I imagine if the horror convention doesn't get canceled because of the fucking coronavirus, I'll have some cool swoops over the next 2 months to show you guys as well. Well, either way I will, but, you know, I'm really hoping I can make it to that convention. That's all we got, guys. Make sure to sub up Movies Galore. Their link will be in the description below, along with Dustin from Crypt of Horrors. And we'll see you guys back here real soon with something fun. A lot of cool stuff on the horizon. Cheers. Thanks for watching.